Stop. Don't just look. Stare. Feel that chill crawling up your spine? You're about to witness one of art history's greatest nightmares. Before you stretches a 12-foot wide triptych by Hieronymus Bosch, painted around 1500. It's enormous, oil on oak, and every inch seethes with detail. Today it hangs in Madrid's Prado Museum. But imagine coming face to face with it 5 centuries ago. A brand new, utterly bizarre world laid out in paint. Scholars believe Bosch conceived it as a dire warning about sin and temptation. Its title, The Garden of Earthly Delights, is actually modern. Bosch never named it. In his sequence, the panels form a grim narrative. On the left, Adam and Eve stand in a strange Eden. In the center, humanity revels in every pleasure. And on the right, the unimaginable hell that punishes all those sins. Even its wings tell a story. When closed, the outside panels show the world on the 3rd day of creation. Land and plants appearing, but no creatures yet. Then you open the triptych and step through into Bosch's universe. In Eden, God himself appears. In the center, he disappears. And on the right panel, divine light is completely absent. In 20th century eyes, Bosch's phantasmagoria looks like a precursor to surrealism. Salvador Dali himself cited Bosch as a major inspiration. One art historian even proposed that the demonic tree man of hell bears Bosch's own likeness, a kind of secret self-portrait of the painter trapped in his worst vision. Prepare yourself. We will journey panel by panel. First, the unsettled serenity of Eden. Then, the drunken ecstasy of the earthly garden. And finally, the frozen conflagration of hell. Each panel will quicken your pulse in turn. Lean in slowly. Let your eyes adjust. There is no other painting like this. And soon it will feel as if you are inside it. Your eyes drift to the left panel first. It seems almost peaceful. A naked Adam lies asleep under a great tree. Golden sunlight pouring through the leaves. A gentle, almost boyish God the Father stands before a newly formed Eve, presenting her to Adam. Adam awakes from a deep slumber to meet her. This is the very instant of creation. The trio glows in soft light. Everything here feels miraculous, but nothing is entirely ordinary. Look closer. Behind Eve, the grass rustles with playful rabbits, symbols of fertility greeting the new world. A strange dragon tree towers beside them, its blossoms and fruit hinting at eternal life. All around, the scene is extraordinary. In the distance, you see odd stone huts and shell-like structures sprouting from the ground. They look half-built, half-organic. It is as if Eden itself is alive and still forming its secrets. Even more striking, exotic animals wander in. On one side, a giraffe looms tall. On the other, an elephant plods by with a tiny monkey clinging to its back. A lion crouches nearby, feasting on fallen prey in mid-devour. These beasts don't belong in a traditional Eden. They are creatures Bosch gathered from the travel lore of his day. A cat even stalks a small lizard in the grass. Nothing here is standard biblical illustration. It's a whole world of wonders and warnings. Your gaze returns to the couple. Adam has risen to his feet and reached out to Eve. Look at Adam's face. His eyes are wide, curious, even a little hungry. He seems spellbound by Eve's form. She stands there smiling, showing no fear, as if she relishes the effect she has on him. It's an odd first moment of humanity, wonder mixed with something primal. Adam's look has been called the first flicker of desire. He is not innocent of the world. You sense the air grow tense around them. The smallest details speak loudest. See how Adam's toes are almost touching God's robe. And notice how God's white cloak billows down toward Adam. It's as if a current of divine power still flows between Creator and creation. In fact, according to one interpreter, this touch forms a closed circuit of magical energy, divine life pulsing into Adam. In this moment, God and man are intimately connected. But look again. God has one hand raised in blessing, and on Adam's other side, Eve is the conduit of that blessing. For now, the life force passes through them. Soon it will pass from them to the world beyond. And already there is a hint of the future fall. A snake coils up the trunk of a nearby tree. It's just a silent witness for now, but you recognize its meaning. Eve has not yet tasted the fruit, but the symbol of temptation is here. To its right, a little mouse scurries. In medieval symbolism, even that hinted at something erotic. So subtle. A cat with its lizard. A mouse scuttling underfoot. Bosch loaded Eden with foreboding. Even Adam himself seems aware of power shifting. According to art historian Walter Gibson, Eve is actually shown seductively presenting her body to Adam, and Adam's astonished expression includes surprise at her beauty and at the Creator. In short, he understands two things at once. Here is his wife, and here is his God. For a fleeting moment, this is beauty on the edge of horror. You might feel strangely uneasy. If paradise is a lullaby, there's a discordant note beneath it. No children or old crones appear, just man, woman, and God. It is the first day of innocence, but you know what is coming. You can already see the seeds of sin. Every creature in this garden, from rabbits to lions, stands ready to spring into history. Every impulse in Adam's eyes is a question. Will we dare? And the painting seems to answer, in the tiniest detail, probably. Now turn to the center panel. The darkness lifts into brilliant day. Everything here is drenched in sunlight, or the fantasy of sunlight, and yet there's a heavy, sweaty heat to it. The garden of earthly delights sprawls before you in every direction. Hundreds of nude men and women roam across meadows, pools, groves, and bizarre architecture. They laugh, they wrestle, they kiss, they drink from chalices. They seem intoxicated by life. It's as if someone opened up a Pandora's box labeled All Pleasures, and the contents exploded across the canvas. This world feels lush and surreal. Take it piece by piece. Everywhere you look, impossible pleasures bloom. Giant fruits dot the landscape. Men lounge on colossal strawberries and cherries that dwarf them. A male figure relaxes in the foreground, a massive strawberry resting between his legs, as though it were the world itself. Nearby, 4 young women parade with enormous stalks of cherries atop their heads. These cherries are symbols of pride. On their bodies, one bodily fluid embraces another. Men ride speeding unicorns and horses, chasing after women clad in pearls and flowers. Everywhere, animals play human roles. A couple rests intimately in the nest of a bird. Others flirt with the shells of aquatic beasts. Look closely at the water. A blue-green pool reflects the sky. A little way off, a massive bubble floats over the pond. Inside that spherical shell, you can make out 2 bodies. One has a hand reaching to the other's groin. It's an erotic stage, a private world in public. Nearby, a man strains upward in a saddle on a fantastical bird, desperately trying to reach an enormous dangling nut. Desire made absurd. A woman in one corner lies on a giant mushroom, as if sleeping off too much wine. Even the animals seem enchanted in this Eden of vice. See the ducks? They're not bothered by their human companions, who sit askew on their backs. Fish wander on land like stray livestock. In the lower left, a clothed young man readies a book. He's the only one wearing garments in this orgy. A solemn expression crosses his face as he looks on. Is he perplexed, or soberly judging this spectacle? He stands apart, pointing to the sky as if trying to make sense of the madness around him. Perhaps Bosch is inviting you to take his place, to question what you see. This is sensory overload. Men and women nibble grapes and cherries, clink cups of wine, and entwine in every imaginable position. You see one pair seated inside a giant nutshell, another lounging under a turret with feathers. Some revel happily. Others clutch their jaws in the pleasure of each kiss. Nothing is hidden. In fact, medieval viewers thought nothing about sight or desire was hidden here. Yet Bosch presents it all in a frame. Gibson remarks these figures behave overtly and without shame. And it shows. They grin at the sky. They moan in their games. They are utterly absorbed. And yet there is a discord beneath the revelry. Notice a cluster off to the side. 3 figures dressed in hair or skin. A sort of tribal group. Scholars aren't sure what they mean. One interpretation calls them noble savages, an imagined alternative to society. Another finds them complicit in the debauchery. Nearby is a cave, out of which a man wearing a cloth and bright red boots emerges. He looks neither overjoyed nor terrified. He's the one carrying blood on his hands in the adjacent vignette, the bloodbath, which you'll see next. It's as if he's come out to observe how the crowd has forgotten the very things he's doing. The whole panel is crowded, but whenever you find someone clothed, pay attention. They're usually a sort of guide or judge's shadow in the chaos. Let reality intrude for a moment. Late 15th century Europe lived under strict moral codes. Bosch piles on transgression. The notion that everything is permissible here is deliberate. This is not serenity. It's a fever dream. One art historian, Wilhelm Franger, once argued this panel was an innocent, prelapsarian vision, that it showed a garden of love before corruption. It's a lovely thought, but most believe the opposite. This is a garden of temptation. It's a warning disguised as a party. Notice how carefree, how blissfully unaware the figures are. They don't seem worried at all. As one critic put it, this scene almost invites you to join in, until you remember the final panel waiting on the right. Bosch offers a masterclass in symbolism. Notice the music. Instruments are everywhere. For him, in medieval mind, music was a beginning of lust. He paints enormous lutes, harps, recorders, and horns. Some instruments are held as props or played, but none produce real melodies in this painting. They are fantasies or road signs pointing somewhere. Lust itself, as you'll see, is a weapon and a trap here. The air almost dances. You could spend hours picking out details. A man rides an oversized swan. Another stuffs nuts into a flower as a man on a tiny bittern carries a glass. A group of women balance fruit on their heads, fruits and vegetables sprouting like decoration. One woman sips from a snail shell goblet as though it were the elixir of life. These are innocent games to them, but in Bosch's code, they represent the careless indulgence that courts doom. Now step back. What does all this tell us? Bosch's contemporaries would have read it in a heartbeat. This panel shows humanity asleep in pleasure. The pages of a moral book are turned to party, and the audience doesn't notice the ink running. He liked to say that before the fall, there was no firm line between virtue and vice. In this garden, you see that blurring at work. For now, though, you're just a stunned observer at a wild carnival. Enjoy the beauty, but don't forget what's behind you. Now your eyes reach the rightmost panel. All light vanishes. A poisoned sky of bruised purple and oily black looms above. The very air feels sickly. Bosch paints at night. Divine light is gone. Before you spreads hell. It is vast and crowded. Distant cities burn with flare and smoke. In the far background, you can make out flamethrowers of light, towers aflame, peasants fleeing in terror. One chronicler notes these explosions turn the water red as blood. All that was hidden in the garden is now exposed, and every pleasure has a price. The colors here are cold, grays, blues, sickly greens. Only the fires flare orange. The bodies are bruised and decaying. The naked figures of pleasure have been stripped of any innocence. You might shiver without even realizing it. This air is pinched with frost. Look at the pools in the background. They're frozen solid, cracked open in razor patterns. In Bosch's time, Hell often included the idea of spiritual ice or paralysis as much as fire. The damned here literally feel that. It's an inferno and a glacier. At the very center of this vision is the most unforgettable monster, the Tree Man. Don't let the puny things around fool you. This creature is huge, titan-like. His thin, leafless limbs are twisted tree trunks that hold open his body. The body itself is a great split eggshell. His cracked trunk torso is formed of wood and pale flesh. The fact that it's broken like an eggshell is no accident. It symbolizes something shattered beyond repair. Open that hollow chest and you find a tavern inside. 3 nude men sit at a wooden table there, guzzling wine from a barrel and playing games as though at a drinking den. One stomach is distended. Another holds his jaw in shame. A brothel keeper pours another round. It's grotesque. An entire body pub in a body. Turn your eye upward. Atop the Tree Man is a horrible altar. A flat, round disc, like a cursed communion wafer, sits balanced. On it march demons and damned souls around 2 enormous leather bagpipes. These pipes bulge like giant organs, or worse, as if made from the flayed skin of dragons. Lust, which on earth was softness and dreams, here becomes a weapon. A 2-faced demon stands on the disc, jammed against the skull of the central pipe. He is shoving a man's face into the open end, forcing him to serve as a living mouthpiece. The man's eyes roll back in terror. His body swells with every absurd breath. In the medieval mind, bagpipes were a common symbol of rude sexuality. Here, Bosch makes that literal, forcing devotion into the damned's mouth as if his body is the instrument. Now step away from the monstrous Tree Man to survey his realm. Bosch has methodically arranged horrors for every sin. Look to our left first. Perched on a high bench is the Prince of Hell. He looks like an enormous bird wearing a cauldron for a crown. His body is fat and stubby, bluish gray. His head a puffy pale beak with blank owl eyes. He sits on what appears to be a throne, but is actually a latrine. Underneath his mouth is a transparent bowl on which he defecates. Right now, he's devouring a man, legs up, head down. The man's feet and torso are inside the prince's mouth. From the victim's backside and mouth erupts a flock of tiny black birds. It is a dark parody of eating. The man is literally transformed into shit and birds by this demon. Note the coins on the ground nearby. A miser in plague-colored rags is offering money, perhaps to the bird god. But here even gold becomes excrement. Directly in front of that beast, a tortured woman lies face up under a toad. She is unmistakably Eve, the very first Eve, now damned. The toad on her chest press her eyes closed. She does not scream. She cannot move. Look to her left. A gangly wolf locks her legs. This is eternal immobilization. Some say in the original Netherlandish diptych that her name, Pepe, means post peccatum, extra H out of sin, out of help. She has not died. She lives this torment every moment. Shift your sight to the lower right corner. This is the gambler's pit. On one side, a squat, lizard-skinned demon hunches over an overturned casino table. A naked man lies face up under it. On the tabletop balances a single die on a human head. The man's own hand has been impaled by a dagger. Cards flutter in the muck. Elsewhere, a man with thigh wounds is forced to play roulette with his own entrails. The message here is clear. The house always wins. Excess bet you your life, and here they're collecting. A demon stands by like a grim banker, reminding all, you lost it all. Now look at the foreground, musician's hell. Bosch takes a jab at those who thought music innocent. A gigantic flute is splayed on the ground. A man has been nailed across it by his wrists and ankles, literally crucified on the instrument. His body is stretched tight on the strings. A demon above plucks them slowly. If you could hear it, it would be a hollow, groaning discord. Nearby, a second demon pounds a huge drum. But this is no ordinary drum. It's hollowed with a man's head pressed inside. His face bulges into the drum skin, eyes bugging. He is the drum. No scream escapes him, except the rhythm of his own blood. It's a scene of unbearable noise. Bosch believed music could incite lust. Here he turns it to exquisite torture. Even the singers are damned. Look closely. Sculpted into a wooden stage is a choir of men singing from their own buttocks. Their mouths are closed. Instead, a pipe goes between their cheeks. They sing, but the source is human dung. Here, the music of the flesh is literal. The only song in hell is agony, and Bosch has drawn its sheet music on the flesh of the damned. Step back even more and take in the bizarre machinery. At upper right, you might notice a pair of giant ears pierced by an arrow and suspended from a frame. A long sword blade is locked between them like a guillotine. This odd ear device is aimed at a naked, struggling man below. Demons use it as a torture. One is about to hang him, forcing him to listen to every awful sound he has ever pried into. It's said Bosch meant this for eavesdroppers, those who secretly listen to other sins. Now the stolen secrets crush them, literally. There's a device shaped like a green spoon with a rod. It lifts sinners into the air by their tongues. Elsewhere, a figure is stretched over a harp, becoming the music. One demon claws at a man standing on ice, his arm strapped to a reel. He's frozen, but still spun around, trapped between fire and ice. A ceramic pot contains souls who must forever claw their way out, only to be snapped back by demons. I won't describe everyone, the list is endless. But notice the consistency. Each punishment is precise. A winebender vomits blood into a demon's pot. A man who stole a poem is sharpened by lit quills. Finally, as your eye reaches the very bottom right, you find one of Bosch's trademark jabs at human authority, the pignon of contracts. A man kneels at a desk piled with accounts. Before him stands a creature with the body of a pig and the habit of a nun. In one hoof it holds a quill, in the other, a scroll. Its face is sly and cooing. The man's mouth is agape in fear. The pig has just slid the contract toward him. Its breath surely stinks of ink and betrayal. This is a contract of damnation. In Bosch's Netherlandish pun, he forces the sinners to sign their own death warrants. Religion itself is mocked here, the sacred habit twisted into a grotesque salesman's garb. Now step even further back. You have moved from Eden through the Garden of Innocence to the bottom of hell. Bosch has shown us a world inverted, where every delight is a snare. Wars and city fires rage in the distance, but your attention is trapped by the detail near you. Notice those fleeing townspeople by the water, a knight and his followers running from a tortured mob. Notice the bunny-headed demon skewering the sainted soul above. Everything in hell is a scene of accountability. A knight torn to pieces by wolves for war. Tax collectors shoved into an urn for extortion. Medieval scholars see this as a system of divine justice. The sins of the flesh given fleshly punishment. By now, your heart pounds. The horror is relentless. And yet, there is a terrible order to it. Every punished soul matches a sin. Music lover becomes the guitar. Prostitute becomes the brothel interior. Greedy men drown in their own gold-turned feces. The painting itself reads like a medieval sermon, node by node. This is not chaos for art's sake. It is Bosch giving form to doctrine. Every detail accuses you. Hell is ultimate reality here, and you've watched it unfold, step by agonizing step. Together, the three panels spell out a stark moral: Eden's promise, the perils of human folly, and hell's uncompromising justice. Bosch is making a very explicit point. Every action has a consequence. In the first panel, humanity is born. In the second, it squanders innocence. In the third, it faces the bill. This triptych is often interpreted as a dire warning against temptation. If you delight in sin now, lust, gluttony, greed, even idle curiosity, know that Bosch will show you the aftermath. Look back at what you've seen. The pleasures of the center panel have all been cruelly inverted in hell. Those who made music are now the music of torture. Those who gambled find themselves crushed under dice and knives. Those who sought carnal love have every part of them transformed into a contraption of pain. Nothing escapes the pattern. In medieval theology, God created hell as a mirror, a sin shown in its ugliness. Bosch paints that mirror for us. Here, even laughter and song are instruments of punishment. It's as if Bosch has painted you into the scenario. Notice, all the people in hell were once people just like you. Bosch himself presumably didn't invent new punishments on a whim. He's illuminating warnings he knew well from stories and sermons. The historian Hans Belting pointed out that Bosch may have painted his own face into the tree man. Imagine that, the artist placing himself squarely among the damned. Even Bosch felt, this could happen to me. What does this mean for us? In one sense, it is very medieval, a concrete lesson in an afterlife that was widely believed to exist. In another sense, it's universal and timeless. Temptation and consequence are evergreen themes. Standing before this painting, you cannot escape your own complicity. Are you Adam, awake for just a moment of innocence? Are you one of the frolicking figures lost in pleasure? Bosch warns us. So step back and remember what you have seen. Hell has never looked as clear or cold as this. In Bosch's world, it is literal. Every vice has a fitting torture. Every horror in the right panel was drawn with precision. He stripped the glamour from sin to show its rot. The screaming pig, the sobbing sinner, the monstrous owl demon, each shouts a verdict. You earned this. If you live for the garden of earthly delights, beware. Bosch's painting shows exactly the bill that comes due. Hell looks just like this.